Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I cannot believe it. We are cruising through this month. It's already the 3rd. How'd that happen?
I have no idea.
Coming up later in the program, I'm going to be visiting with Deirdre Hade. And I don't know if I'm saying either first or last name right. I hope I get at least one of those right. But I'll find out, and then I'll make sure I say it right. But we've got, she's the author of a book called The NotSo Little Book of Surprises.
Oh.
So get ready to be surprised.
Alrighty.
It's coming up later in the program. Hey, did you know that about 50% of Americans admit to regifting?
I've regifted.
I know you have. You've regifted things that I bought you. I bought it for you, and then I was like, I see you giving it to my mom. I'm like, wait a minute. I gave that to you.
I've never regifted to your mom.
I gave you that nightie. Just kidding. That would be weird.
That would be
it?
awkward.
No, that's never happened. And scientists in the Netherlands have found a way of training wasps to detect drugs and bombs.
Really?
Finally a use for
now
wasps.
They have it. Now they'll be useful for something.
There you go. So I don't know what happens if they find drugs or bombs.
And nobody cares if they get blown up.
Well, there you go. Thanks for listening on a Friday.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Today is I Want You to Be Happy Day.
That's every day, isn't it?
It is. I want you to be happy every day. It's also International Ear Care Day. It is National Day of Action, also Peace Corps Day. It is National Mulled Wine Day. What the heck is mulled wine? Have you ever had mulled wine?
I don't know.
I don't know. You've never met a wine you haven't liked, though, have you?
This is true.
National Anthem Day today. Princess Day today. So, guys, put your princess tiaras on and, get out there. Maybe not. It's Shabbat across America and across Canada Day. It is What If Cats and Dogs Had Opposable Thumbs Day. What is that all about? It is Dress in Blue Day. Hey, I'm kind of covered. I got blue jeans. Employee Appreciation Day. National Day of Unplugging. So you're supposed to unplug today. It is World Day of Prayer, and it is World Wildlife Day. So we got all those things going on. So get out there and celebrate with your opposable thumbs and make fun of your dog and cat for not having them, I think. I don't know. Anyway, get out and celebrate. Thanks for listening.
John and Heidi.
Hey, it's John and Heidi. Join us for 80s in the Sand, a week-long 80s event this November 11th through the 18th in beautiful Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic.
Meet and listen to 80s bands like Loverboy, Starship, Howard Jones, and many more.
Plus, meet 80s icons from the movies like Anthony Michael Hall, Andrew McCarthy, and several others.
Get all the details at 80sinthesand.com.
Use promo code RADIO to get a $200 immediate refund per person.
Book your week-long 80s vacation now at 80sinthesand.com.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. If you're a parent and you're looking for a unique way to reward your son or daughter for being good, maybe you should listen to what this guy's doing. Maybe you shouldn't, because I don't think it worked out so hot. Barry Colvert really loves his son. In fact, he loves his son so much that he looked for ways to reward him. He noticed that his son ate everything on his plate. He did all of his homework and even cleaned his room without asking. So as a reward, he said, "Hey, I'm going to let you drive the car for a while with Dad in the passenger seat." That's a great, father-son picture.
Except his son is how old?
Well, we're going to get to that. That's a good father and son picture, too, isn't it? Forgot to tell you, it was at night, and the headlights were off, and they ran a stop sign, and they smashed into another car.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. Barry's son is only 7. Yeah, police could not believe what had happened. When they questioned Barry, he insisted that it was the other car's fault. Not my son's. I'm certainly not responsible, he said. I only had a few beers.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, boy. How old were you the first time you drove, Heidi? Do you remember the first time you drove?
I had my permit, so I would have been
teenager?
15.
Do you remember the first time? Do you remember your first time behind the wheel?
Yeah.
What kind of vehicle was it?
It was a Ford because it was with my dad.
Was it
and
automatic
he only
or
took
manual?
me once, and he said, "I will never take her."
Was it manual or automatic?
Of course, it was an automatic.
Okay. Well, the first time I ever drove, it was a manual, and it was a little Volkswagen that was not a good car. And I remember I dumped the clutch. First, the car jerked a little bit, and then I hit the gas and squealed the tires. My dad had some colorful language for me.
I bet he did.
I remember it being like the worst possible way. Because he just got done explaining, you take your foot off the clutch really slow, and I took my way too fast. And it was like jerk, jerk, jerk. It was bad. Anyway, I was probably about the same age, honestly. I was probably about 7. And my dad probably had a few beers as well. So,
wow.
Anyway, thank goodness I didn't get in a crash. But this one, that he did get in a crash, you know it's true? Because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. 23-year-old Jerry McKay, this is happening in Florida, by the way, spotted zooming down a street at 71 miles per hour. Needless to say, driving like this attracts the attention of the police. This is especially bad if you happen to be cooking meth at the time that you're driving as well.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I don't know how he was doing that, but apparently cooking meth while driving at 71 miles per hour. In addition to drug charges, he was also charged with driving with a suspended license and with speeding. So, yeah. All of those things.
Fine upstanding citizen there.
Yeah, Jerry, way to go there. Again, that was down in Florida, so and he's got himself in a little bit of trouble. Coming up in a moment, we're going to talk about one of my favorite, actually 2 of my favorite moments of duh ever. And I got them both in one day because they're both kind of quick, so that's on the way. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. Not 1, but 2, so I got to speak quick here. This one happened in Oklahoma City. A woman was disappointed on Valentine's Day when she did not get a marriage proposal from her boyfriend. How disappointed was she?
Uh-oh.
She stabbed him below the ear. Yeah, he was treated for minor wounds and released.
Whoa.
I doubt the proposal will be coming anytime soon. About the time he gets the bandages off his noggin, I think he's going to probably break up with you. Pretty sure. Now, that's a pretty fun moment of duh. I've got another one that I think it's a rival for one of my favorites. This one is a police officer. They got himself a moment of duh. This is in Dallas, and Raymond Delhoff Jr. was suspended because he was eating on the job. But it wasn't just eating on the job that got him in trouble. It's what he was eating and where he was eating it. He was eating a chicken sandwich that he took from a car that had been in an accident.
He took it from the car?
16-year-old girl had been in an accident. The sandwich belonged to her. She got thrown in an ambulance, and while he was standing there's a chicken sandwich in a bag. He just took it out and ate it. He got in trouble. I was like, well, it's a perfectly good chicken sandwich.
Why let it go to waste?
She's not going to be in the mood for it. When
Just
she gets
brush
back,
the glass off here.
That's fine. A little bit of blood. There we go.
Hopefully there hadn't been a bite taken out
It's like
of it.
new. Anyway, a couple of moments of duh. Your scoop of the day is on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. According to Reader's Digest, reading to kids at bedtime in American homes has decreased by over 80% since 1960.
Oh, that's sad.
We still read to our kids at night when we tuck them in. Our son is 20.
Not quite.
He keeps telling us
But
to
our
leave them
kids
alone.
do read at
They
night.
do. They read. And when we read to them at night, you did a lot more than I did. Every once in a while I'd read. What would I read to them?
When they were little, I read to them.
What
yeah.
would I read to them when they were
Green
little?
Eggs and Ham's, the only book you know how to read.
I love that book. It's on my Facebook as one of my favorite books, and it really is. I'm like, I got the Bible, Green Eggs and Ham, and a couple of marketing books. I'm like, there you go. That's what I read. Fear of being sued has led many cities to ban sledding. So if you like going downhill and, fast on a little sheet of plastic.
You know what? Fear of being sued ruins everything.
Does. YouTube took down a video of a giraffe about to give birth because of nudity issues. What?
Oh my gosh.
Come on, YouTube. What's going on there? Hey, a report says UFO sightings are at an all-time high. Here's the funny thing. Also, people who report UFO sightings are also all the time high. Oh, did I read that wrong? No, at an all-time high. Honestly, as much as I was just joking around there, it's not that I don't believe in UFOs. I've never seen one, but I think that there are UFOs out there. I do believe that they exist. I don't think that everybody's nuts, because I just can't imagine that many people would be bonkers.
Have you met many people?
I have, but there's some really credible people that have seen UFOs too. Hey, over the weekend, a group of witches said they began casting spells and will continue to do so until Trump is gone. So we got that going for us.
Yeah,
That's
good
kinda
luck.
Weird. Hey, CBS has canceled a new drama called Doubt after only 2 episodes have aired. So apparently they
Must not have been any good at all.
They were in doubt about doubt, which is, kind of funny. British Safari Park is asking visitors to stop wearing animal prints because it's confusing the animals.
Are you kidding?
So people go to see the zebras with zebra stripes and leopards with leopard stripes, and they're like, wait a minute. I haven't seen Mike for a few hours. Are you wearing Mike? Is that what's going on? Stanford University reports a childlike reasoning is how fish determine their social pecking order. So childlike reasoning, that's how they figure out who's in charge with a fish. So kind of like the way we do it, I think, pretty much. Can singing take away your pain, Heidi?
I think so.
Doctors in Australia hope so. Part of the new pain management program, doctors at Royal North Shore Hospital in Sydney have been prescribed 3.5-hour singing sessions a week for 3 weeks. The program involves patients suffering from long-term and incurable pain like back injuries and arthritis. So far, doctors claim that singing made people feel less tense, less tired, and more vigorous for a week after 1 half-hour session. So who's singing, the patient or the doctor?
I think it's the patient.
Okay. For whatever reason, I was thinking that the doctors were like, can't they be in doing surgeries? Well, why am I in here singing? The hottest new wedding activity is to trash the wedding dress when you're done. That is a bad idea. Have you heard about
Why is that
this?
a bad idea? What are you going to do with it?
I don't know, but you hear what they're doing? They spend hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars. You know what the most popular way to trash the dress is?
What's that?
For the groom to shoot the bride with paintballs. That is the new thing.
That would hurt.
I think so, too. Why would you marry somebody if he wants to shoot you with paintballs? I think it's a bad idea. And if you've done it and it's really cool, I apologize, because maybe it's cool, but I'm just an old fuddy-duddy, and I think that sounds like a bad idea. Hey, a new Harris online poll found that Americans have a wide range of religious beliefs. 90% believe in God, 84% believe in miracles, 70% believe in angels, 69% believe in hell, 68% believe in the devil, 51% believe in ghosts, 33% believe in UFOs, witches, also at 33%, 31% believe in astrology, 27% in reincarnation. Somehow, despite 90% believing in God, only 42% believe also that Darwin's theory of evolution is correct. So they believe both, because there's 90% believe one, and somehow 42% believe the other. So that means some are believing both. So there you go. I don't know where you land in that category, but interesting stuff. Coming up, we've got a special guest that is on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Radio advertising works. When it's done right, it works even better. There are many things you can do to get a better response, and shouting sale really isn't the best thing, believe it or not. Did you know that when you put words to music, they're 9 times more memorable? If you're trying to get people to remember your company, consider a jingle. We work with one of the very best jingle companies in the business, and we'd love to use music to help you grow your company. Learn more and hear examples at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We've got a special guest joining us right now here with a fun book. The book is called The Not-So-Little Book of Surprises. I have Deirdre with me, and Deirdre Hade, how are you?
I'm just great, thank you.
Now, you worked on this book with somebody else, Will Arntz, and it says he's the creator of What the Bleep. That sounds like a fun thing.
Yes?
So now, how long did it take the two of you to put this book together?
Well, we like to say it took 10 years and 3 months. Will, who's a filmmaker, took my teachings and what I've been working with wisdom to help us all live a better life, a happier life, and kind of understand what we're going through in this time. So he took all his 10 years of information and pulled out what he felt was really the most important message for today. So he did that in about 3 months.
That's
and
really
then
cool.
Andre Balog, who took all the beautiful photographs, he also has been taking photographs for 10 years, and Will went into his library and pulled out his photographs and together. So the actual process was really fast, but it could happen because we had years and years of information.
And I'm looking on your website right now at some of the photos that are in the book. Absolutely beautiful, unbelievable photos here. This is really cool.
Yes, thank you. The photos are beautiful. Andre is an award-winning photographer, voted the second best nature photographer in California. I was really honored to work with him. It's been a real fun collaboration.
So let's talk about the Not-So-Little Book of Surprises. What was the inspiration for this book? What made you decide we need to make a book of this?
Well, the inspiration was that my husband, he's just a big fan of mine. I'm really happy, really lucky about that. And the times, we're going through, they're really changing. They're really... we're all wondering which way's up, and he made What the Bleep Do We Know, which was about science and quantum science and thought and how you create your world. And he said, what we really need now is to understand the place in ourself where we're connected to the source. And we call that the mystical experience, or the experience of like an aha or an illumination, where you feel connected with everything, and everything's in the right order. And that's what I teach. That's what my work is about. So it was really his idea. It's time to put this together in a book.
So you get to either blame him or you get to thank him, one or the other. And I think it's probably going to fall in the thank him category, isn't it?
I agree. A big thank you. Big thank you. Because he's a filmmaker, he put the book together with these photos, and it's an hour-and-a-half read if you were to read it all the way through, and it really is like a movie. Like every page is another scene in a movie.
That's really cool. Now, you guys collaborated together on this book. How long have you known each other? Have you known each other a long time?
Yes, we've known each other for about 6 years, and we've actually been married for 2.5 years.
So it makes it a little easier when you're married. You can work weekends and evenings and overnights. You can always squeeze in a little more time, can't you?
Yes, you can. But I'll tell you, when he got the brainstorm to do this book and to put this together, what happened is that he said to me, "No, you can't look at it till I'm finished, and then you can help with the edits." So he did that because he really wanted to get his idea of it. We have a joke that if I had picked all the quotes and the pictures, they'd all be pink. I'm not sure if that's true, but that's what he says.
Well, that's really cool. My wife and I work together as well, so I understand how that goes. There are days, now there are people that listen right now that might not see all the behind-the-scenes stuff, but there are days that things are absolutely wonderful and awesome, and it's like high five all day long, and there's other days where it's usually me, I do something stupid and make her mad, and then she doesn't say much on the radio. So if you're ever wondering why Heidi's kind of quiet once in a while, it's because I probably said something stupid that day. On the line right now with the author of the Not-So-Little Book of Surprises, Deirdre Hade is joining us right now. And in this book, you can see a lot of beautiful images because there's the photographer. What was the photographer's name once again?
Andre Barlog.
And absolutely beautiful images here. And as you go through this is just kind of a neat inspirational book. Who would you say is the target market? Maybe people listening are going, is this a book for me? Who would you say is the right person for this book?
I'd say the right person for the book is someone who loves nature photography, really loves and appreciates all the beauty of nature, and someone who really likes to be inspired, likes to have thought-provoking quotes, conversation. This book really is a conversation piece. People sit around at the table and they discuss a piece from the book. We've gotten a lot of feedback around that. So if you love beauty, beautiful photos, and if you like to be inspired, or if you like to be pushed to think out of the box, pushed to think a little bit different.
And again, the book is called The Not-So-Little Book of Surprises. And I like that name, and I also like the name of your husband's film, What the Bleep Do We Know? That's just funny. So you guys are really good at having catchy titles, I can tell you that.
Well, thank you. He's a master at the catchy titles.
That's really good.
Yeah, he's great at that.
And if you'd like to know more, I'm going to give a website. The website that I'm on that has info for the book is bookofsurprises.com. Are there other places people can find the book as well?
You can find it on Amazon and also in the bookstores. It's in the bookstores, so either place.
Well, I appreciate you taking some time to visit with us today, and it's been a lot of fun to chat. So thank you so much for taking the time, and I wish you the very best on your book.
Well, thank you. It's been so great to be with you, and let's just go forward in this new world order and grab the surprises and make lemonade out of lemon.
There you go. Again, Deirdre Hade has been our guest today, and the book is called The Not So Little Book of Surprises, and the website, if you'd like to know more, is bookofsurprises.com.
John and Heidi.
Many people go to college, but when they graduate, they've racked up a ton of debt. Not everyone, though. Matthew Einstone saved over $70,000 on a top-rate education. Then, after everyone wanted to know how he did it, he built a system to show you how to do it, too. Learn how you can use his system for yourself or for your kids. Go to freeeducationuniversity.com. Watch a few videos there for free. Sign up now and get a free 60-minute private consultation with Matthew. That's freeeducationuniversity.com. Use promo code radio20 to save 20%.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Orcas, also known as killer whales, when they travel in groups, they all breathe in unison.
Oh, really?
That's kind of cool. We should start doing that on car trips. Everybody, okay, breathe in, breathe out. I wonder if that would work. Or maybe we could do it where when I'm breathing in, you're breathing out. I don't know. We'll have to figure out how to make that happen. Hey, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Valentina Tereshkova. Do you know who that is?
No.
The first woman to enter space. A lot of people think that it was Sally Ride, but no, she was there first. She spent 3 days in
didn't know
space
that either.
and completed 48 orbits of Earth. So she was in space for 3 days. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The largest apple pie ever baked was 40 feet in diameter and 3 feet thick. And I'll bet it was disgusting. Why would you want a gigantic pie that big?
I have no idea.
I mean, you want to break a world record, but who wants to eat that? I mean, I don't want to eat that. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Fidel Castro was once a star baseball player for the University of Havana. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
There you go. Now you do, because you just heard a couple of fun facts on a Friday.
John and Heidi.
This is Richard Lustig, the world's first and only 7-time lottery game grand prize winner. Since I endorsed Lottolicious, I have won something every single draw. They do all the work. You don't have to worry about running to the store to buy your tickets. They take care of all that. So if you're looking for the best way to play the lottery, to give yourself the best chance of winning, go to RadioLottoPool.com and join today. Again, that website is RadioLottoPool.com.
John and Heidi.
Do you think you drink enough water every day, Heidi?
I try to.
Now,
I drink way more than I did before.
You might be surprised what it could do for you. It says here, 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated. This likely applies to half of the world's population as well, or more. But 75% of Americans chronically dehydrated. Hey, is this my coffee?
Yes.
Whoa, I think this is from yesterday, though. I was just thinking I'd like a drink. I'm going to do that when I'm done with this story. Hey, is that from yesterday?
I have no idea.
Look and see.
I didn't bring it
I'll take
in.
a little taste and see. 37% of Americans, the thirst mechanism is so weak that it is often mistaken for hunger. So they're going, oh man, I'm hungry. No, really, you're thirsty. So they say before you eat,
Yeah, drink a huge glass of water.
drink, and no matter what, you're going to eat less. Even mild dehydration will slow down your metabolism by as much as 3%. Just saying, if you're not getting enough to drink, you're going to start packing on some pounds too. 1 glass of water will shut down midnight hunger pains for almost 100%. And dieters in a U.S. Washington study found out that if they just have a big glass of water, they weren't hungry anymore. Lack of water is the number one trigger for daytime fatigue. So when you're kind of, feeling like you're kind of running low, you don't necessarily need a bunch of caffeine. Just chug a bunch of water and you're going to be a whole lot better. Preliminary research says 8 to 10 glasses of water a day would significantly erase back and joint pain for up to 80% of the people who have it. It's not that they necessarily need to have back and joint pain. They're not getting enough water, so that's what's causing. It's like, I don't know what's going on. Something, because there's not enough water. Your bones are dry enough? I don't know. A mere 2% drop in body water can trigger fuzzy short-term memory, trouble with basic math, difficulty focusing on the computer screen, or on a printed page. I definitely need more water. And drinking 5 glasses of water daily decreases the risk of colon cancer by 45%. It can also slash the risk of breast cancer by 79%, and one is 50% less likely to develop bladder cancer by drinking that much water as well. Look at all the benefits.
Yeah.
And you can usually get it for free right out of your tap. So there you go. Unless you're from Flint, Michigan, then maybe not. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Hey, it's John and Heidi inviting you to join us for a party in paradise.
This is a week-long event with 80s music from over a dozen awesome bands.
And 80s movie and TV icons like Anthony Michael Hall, Andrew McCarthy, and several others.
Get all the details at 80sinthesand.com.
Use promo code RADIO to get a $200 immediate refund per person.
We'll even get together to have some drinks with you.
Book your week-long 80s vacation now at 80sinthesand.com.
That's 80sinthesand.com.
John and Heidi.
Zoos in Japan are a little different than zoos around here, aren't they?
I don't know. I've never been to a zoo in Japan.
They take things pretty seriously, like training their staff in the unlikely event that a polar bear would escape. But how would they train for this? With a real bear is what they did, yeah. Want to go to one of the safest zoos in the world? You'll likely have to travel to Japan. They are so safety conscious at Tokyo's Unio Zoo. They actually hold drills to practice catching a real polar bear on the off chance that one would escape. The concern is that if an earthquake were to happen, the walls of the polar bear pit would fall and the bears would escape. How do you train for something like this? Easy. Oh, no, you don't. It says you get some guy to wear a bear suit and run around the zoo and then chase him down.
Oh, so they didn't let a polar bear go and chase him down. I'm sorry, that is not what it would be like.
No, and they said not only did they never get the guy, they shot him with a tranquilizer. This story is confusing to me, but it's funny. So there you go. I'm sure I read something wrong in the beginning. I don't know. I skimmed through it way too quick. Coming up, we're going to talk about eyebrows, I think. It's on the way.
John and Heidi.
Eyebrows are pretty darn important, Heidi.
They're very important.
You look kind of funny without them.
Yeah, have you seen some of those pictures?
Yeah. This happened in Sheffield, Louisiana. 27-year-old Steve Simpson either has the funniest or cruelest friends of all time. He was about to be married when his buddies decided to shave off his eyebrows during his bachelor party the night before the wedding. Mr. Steve got downright creative, picked off threads from his black socks and glued them to his face. His bride, Allison Ward, had no idea what happened until she saw him at the church and noticed his eyebrows moved when he spoke. Allison said, "I could have killed him. He looked like Groucho Marx. But I see the funny side now. You'll be happy to know Steve's eyebrows did grow back during the honeymoon." So why wouldn't he have just like penciled him in? Wouldn't that have been a better idea? Glued the thread from his socks? I don't know. I'm glad that he thought of something.
Horrible wedding pictures.
And how awful of those brides, the groomsmen or whatever, the bachelor party guys. That was, no, you don't do that. That's a bad idea right there.
John and Heidi.
Many people go to college, but when they graduate, they've racked up a ton of debt. Not everyone, though. Matthew Einstein saved over $70,000 on a top-rate education. Then, after everyone wanted to know how he did it, he built a system to show you how to do it too. Learn how you can use this system for yourself or for your kids. Go to freeeducationuniversity.com. Sign up now and get a free 60-minute private consultation with Matthew. That's freeeducationuniversity.com. Use promo code RADIO20 to save 20%.
Every once in a while, I come across something that's just so funny and so unusual that you just got to chuckle and wonder if this would really work, but apparently it does. For those of you who do not have a full-blown security system and you can't afford one, we don't have all that fancy stuff. If you don't have that and you don't know how to work all that stuff, all you need is a sticky note, Heidi. You just need to stick a note on your front door, and depending on what you write on the note, it can actually work as a very good theft deterrent. So this note was stuck on the door of a home. It said, "Dear Butcher, starting tomorrow, please leave 8 pounds of meat for Brutus. 6 pounds only makes him angry and vicious."
Oh my gosh. I don't think so.
Another note said, "Dear mailman, we found bloodstains all over our mail. They must be yours. The next time you put mail in our slot, please be sure to keep all of your body parts clear. Any signs of that book we sent for, The Care and Feeding of Wild Jungle Cats." "Dear exterminator, be very careful when you go inside. The termites have eaten through most of the floorboards. and you will fall into the basement where all the rats are. These are actual notes that people stuck on their door, and supposedly they work for, theft deterrence. To whom it may concern, some of the items in this house have been engraved with federal identification numbers. Others have merely been wired to explode when touched. Good luck.
Oh my gosh. These are so stupid.
And then the last one on the list is, Selma, don't come in. The boa constrictor is loose again.
Goodness.
I think those are clever. I have seen some interesting signs. Like there's one that said, at this house, because of the cost of ammo, we no longer shoot warning shots. That was one that I saw.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. And I don't know. Interesting idea. So if you want to have a low-tech, very affordable security system, they say just stick a note on the door. I also read there was a single lady that was concerned about people coming to her house. So this was such a cool idea. She had like a brother or her dad or whatever had some work boots that were size 12, gigantic work boots. And she set those on her front step. So people wouldn't mess with her. They thought there was some gigantic dude that lived there. So
yeah, that's not a bad idea.
That's a pretty cool. So a couple of fun ideas. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
And we like to wrap things up around here with some good news. And I got a couple of fun stories here for good news. The first one is just, I think, one of the nicest people I've ever heard of in my life. Carrie Young sadly found out that her unborn child was not going to be developing properly. She didn't have a brain. She wasn't going to be born alive. But she decided to carry the baby to term so she could donate the organs for other babies in need.
Oh, wow.
What a selfless thing to do.
That's amazing.
I've got a link to that story on our Facebook page. And I also have this one on there, too. Speaking of pregnancy, I just thought these two stories kind of had to go hand in hand. Kristen Milchunk is still hitting the CrossFit at 37 weeks pregnant. So her hubby Blake decided, I'm going to see just how challenging that workout could be with a pregnant belly. And you can see the video of Blake strapped with a 14-pound medicine ball. Remember those things are?
Yeah.
It looks like a basketball, but it's really heavy. He's got a 14-pound medicine ball strapped to his stomach, and he went through some of the CrossFit training moves and said, yeah, that's tough. That's not so easy.
I'll have to watch that one.
So there you go. And I've got both of those videos. So there's one that's just kind of funny, and then the other one that's more of a touching, kind of a sad but touching, and what a sweet lady, and good news for some people. All of that at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We've gotten a couple of good Dear John letters for next week, but if you want to send one for the following week, we can certainly work on those too. And I appreciate people sending those in. If you are clueless to what we're talking about, we do a thing on Thursdays called Dear John Letters, and you can read all about that on that same Facebook page, and we'd love to answer yours. Even if we don't answer it on the air, we'll answer it through Facebook. So thanks for joining us, and thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday.